This is a Think Aloud with the poem Orient by Billy Collins. He published this in 2013. First, I'll read the poem aloud. Then I'll go back, rereading it, and do the Think Aloud the second time. Orient by Billy Collins. You are turning me like someone turning a globe in her hand. And yes, I have another side like a china no one, not even me, has ever seen. So describe to me what's there. Say what you are looking at, and I will close my eyes so I can see it too, the ox carts and all the lively flags. I love the sound of your voice like a little saxophone telling me what I could never know unless I dug a hole all the way down through the core of myself. Now I'll do the Think Aloud, which captures the thoughts I have while I'm reading this and trying to make sense of the poem. I'd like you to take some notes on the kinds of reading actions or behaviors that you notice I'm doing. Orient by Billy Collins. You are turning me like someone turning a globe in her hand, and yes, I have another side, like a china no one, not even me, has ever seen. Well, I like the idea of the globe in this line 2. I can actually see someone turning a globe. I have an image in my head of a library with a big standing globe and someone touching it to spin it. But I never thought of a person that way or turning a person that way. So I get the sense of someone moving that globe very slowly. You are turning me like someone turning a globe in her hand. So someone is inspecting the globe, or in this case, someone is inspecting him. We think of China as a place very far away. So the use of the idea of China here is kind of interesting. And I like the connection between that country and the title, Orient. When I saw the title, I thought, oh, this is going to be about the Orient, the Far East. But I don't think it is. I think Orient means to find one's place in space or time in this poem. So I'm connecting China with the title. So describe to me what's there. This is a vulnerable person. If someone else is describing what he or she, well, it's the globe in her hand in line 2. So in line 6, the narrator in the poem is asking her to describe the person being looked at. I think that's risky and vulnerable. Say what you are looking at. Again, risky and vulnerable. And I will close my eyes so I can see it too. Well, are there suggestions here of a person who doesn't know himself or herself very well, this narrator? I will close my eyes so I can see it too. There's an expectation that the person being described doesn't know these things about herself or himself. Let's see, in line 8, I will close my eyes so I can see it too, the ox carts and all the lively flags. That line, the ox carts and all the lively flags in line 10, has me a little bit confused. I think it might be a reference back to China in line 4, a distant, faraway place that looks unfamiliar. So one might see exotic, unexpected things, like in line 10, ox carts and all the lively flags. If we're inspecting a person, though, I'm wondering what that person looks like with ox carts and all the lively flags. Are they unexpected revelations to the narrator about himself or herself? That's something, that line is something I'd like to talk to other readers about. I love the sound of your voice like a little saxophone. The saxophone in line 12 throws me off. I don't think of saxophone as having a little voice, and I don't think of it as a soft and comforting tone either. I would not think that someone with a saxophone voice would be appealing to me, but this is coming out as someone who does find that sound appealing. like a little saxophone telling me what I could never know unless I dug a hole all the way down through the core of myself. Again, it reflects back to the earlier lines about finding out things about the self that only someone from the outside looking in can see. I think there's another reference here also to China. Those who are listening are much younger than I am, but when I was a child, and Billy Collins is a little older than I am, we used to talk about digging a hole to China. Like if we had to dig a deep hole, we would call digging a hole to China. So I think this might be a reference to digging deep within the self and making discoveries still about the self. All right, that's the end of my read aloud.